Ohio, Mr. Gibbs, for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
The gentleman from Ohio is recognized for 2 minutes.
Thank you for my colleague from Arkansas. For 6 years, a bipartisan agreement in the last surface transportation reauthorization prohibited transit funds going to non-transportation art-related aspects in federally funded transit projects. The majority's bill ends that bipartisanship agreement and allows for the diversion of transportation infrastructure funding to auxiliary and unnecessary art projects. My amendment would keep this prohibition in place so the transportation infrastructure funding goes to actual infrastructure projects. Both Republicans and Democrats agree there is a real need for investments in critical infrastructure, though the majority is attempting to expand the definition of infrastructure to include virtually anything. Rerouting these investments to unnecessary art projects or to pay for artists on the project design team is a misuse of taxpayer dollars. We need to focus on repairs for roads and bridges, not feel-good frescoes and metro station murals. The amendment would allow excess transit funding to be directed toward improving our highway systems. My colleague from the Transportation Infrastructure Committee today suggested that if the Soviet Union could have artwork as part of their infrastructure projects, the United States can as well. I'm not sure we should be taking infrastructure advice from the bankrupt nation that gave us Chernobyl incident. And the comparison to the Soviet Union is unintentionally appropriate. This bill is bloated with socialist policies. Simply put, this amendment makes sure that infrastructure funds are used to fund actual infrastructure. A vote against this amendment codifies art as infrastructure. I urge my colleagues to support this amendment to prohibit federal funding for unnecessary art projects. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back his time. The gentleman from